Joe, I'm not starting anything.
There's a reason why that word exists.
The term anti-Altmeristic was created by the Altmer Defamation League to shield the Altmer from any criticism.
And can you prove it?
It exists.
That doesn't prove that they shield themselves with it.
Every time someone brings up something that might affect them badly, they use this term to cut the debate short.
Can you tell me about a debate where they used it that way?
Like any debate involving the protocols of the Elder Scrolls, for example?
The protocols.
Yes.
Haven't they already called bullshit on those documents?
Who are they?
What do you mean?
Who do you refer to when you say them?
Imperials, High Elves. Why?
It's just my curiosity.
You do realize that those documents were labeled as discreditable. Of course they called them...
Discreditable documents discredit themselves. They don't have to be labeled as discreditable.
But to me, those documents seem to be discreditable.
Have you ever...
And I do think that they were forged with bad intentions, so they could frame the High Elves.
If the documents were the forgeries, which the Altmer claim them to be, the forgers would probably have taken pains to make Altmer authorship so clear that their anti-Altmeristic purpose could easily have been detected.
So the text doesn't make it clear who the author is?
No. The word Altmer only appears twice in the protocols.
The word Aldmer?
Yes.
Wait, is there a difference between the Altmer and the Altmer?
The Altmer ruled the continent a very long time ago, and the Altmer refer to themselves as Altmer because they think that if they can sell Tamriel the idea that they are the direct descendants of them, they can also convince Tamriel that they are the rightful rulers of the continent too.
And it only appears twice in the documents.
Yes, but based on your question, you seem to be completely unfamiliar with the protocols.
I'm not completely unfamiliar with them.
Have you ever read them?
No, I've only read about them.
So you have never even touched the protocols and still call them discreditable?
I've read reviews and summaries about them.
And who wrote those reviews and summaries?
I'm not sure that...
Wait, you don't have to answer me. I don't even have to guess at this point.
At least I've got some sources. What are yours?
Me.
You?
I am the source.
You are your source.
Yes, I am the source because I have read the protocols and I'm a god.
I'm not saying that you were wrong, but...
Then don't say anything. Would you doubt a god?
It sounds weird that...
Look, I could just say that I made it the fuck up, but that wouldn't be true.
No, it's fine, but I would like to know what you have against them.
I've got a surprisingly long list filled with the wrongdoings of my opponents, so I expect you to tell me exactly who you meant by saying them.
Against those who say that the documents are discreditable.
Like you.
No, not me.
I'm starting with you.
But I was not.
You should look at your sources again and do some fact checks first.
And who's checking your facts?
I am my fact checker.
So if I check my facts, that's fine and not...
Let me check them for you.
Well, that's...
Why do you think that the documents are discreditable?
I mean, it's literally a crazy plan to rule the world through autocratic means.
It's not a crazy plan to rule the world. It's a set of rules which, if followed, provides a paved pathway towards world control.
And you believe in this?
It's not a matter of faith. The purpose of the plan revealed in the protocols is to undermine all authority in order that a new authority, in the form of autocracy, may be set up.
I know, I've said that.
And the program announced in the protocols is being steadily carried out, very noticeably.
But why wouldn't they try to ban those who are copying and printing them?
They tried to ban them and made a lot of noise when the first publications were released.
And why did they write those things down when...
And they were not supposed to be distributed in a written format.
What do you mean?
Based on how the documents were written, they seemed to be notes taken during lectures, exclusively held for Altmer students somewhere in the Somerset Isles or elsewhere.
So they were not supposed to write down those things?
No. They were supposed to spread the word through oral tradition.
Oral tradition.
Exactly.
Okay, but how did they find those notes?
The origin and circumstances of how they found them are unclear. They say that the legionaries came by the document during a house search in connection with a notorious moon sugar dealer in elsewhere.
And the dealer was of Altmer descent?
He was not, and that's why I've said that the origin of the documents is unclear. It doesn't make too much sense to me why the Altmer would entrust a fragile cat person with the hiding of such secrets.
But really? Why would they leave those important notes in the house of a notorious dealer?
Exactly. See, critical thinking doesn't hurt.
And because of this, it is more probable that the documents were forged.
No, and don't form an opinion about something that you have never got in contact with or read properly.
Okay, maybe I should give it a try and read a few pages.
This is your lucky day, then. I've got a surprise party for you.
Really? Man, that's
No, I lied.
Oh, come on.
Instead, I have brought you a surprise PDF file. Jamie, pull up the PDF file I have on that pen drive. It's the protocols_for_chim.pdf.
That has the protocols?
Yes.
What's that JPEG file?
Which JPEG file?
The one that's called sneed.jpg.
Do not open that on stream.
Wow, man, you got a lot of text there.
I know. I cut out the not too important parts so you can read what matters the most.
Yeah, I mean, it's a cool story and all, but there are a lot of words there, and I'm not sure that I want to read them.
You are not reading the text.
No, I'm not reading it.
All right, I will read the text for you to make it very convenient. Is that okay?
Fine by me.
So to begin with, the Protocols of the Elder Scrolls, also known as the Protocols of the Learned Aldmer of Alinor, are the results of hundreds of years of experimentation and research involving the Elder Scrolls.
So the Elder Scrolls have information which might help them rule the world.
The Elder Scrolls are artifacts of unknown origin and quantity, being simultaneously archives of historic past and future events.
Sounds cool.
They often tell of events that require a hero to resolve them, although the scrolls themselves do not select such individuals.
How do they solve them then?
It took the Altmer hundreds of years of experimentation to extract a few pages of useful information from the scrolls, but I have to add that...
And they are about future events or what?
No. The scrolls gave them a glimpse of the past, including how conquest can be carried out without considerable bloodshed.
Man, that is so otherworldly.
It's dangerous knowledge in the wrong hands. In the worst possible hands.
Is it in the documents?
Yes.
How does this conquest thing work?
The formula is not, we will do this, but the FM will be made to think and do these things.
So they conquer themselves.
What does that even mean?
Maybe I was a little bit...
They will be subjugated by their own will.
But how?
Through the use of magic and education. When reading the protocols, you will notice the ways which they...
You are reading them, not me.
Okay. When I start reading them, it won't be too much of a challenge to notice that the text doesn't sound like a motivational speech with patriotic remarks, but more like cool facts with clearly defined goals and steps in order to achieve them.
Which means that the protocols are not propaganda.
No, and they are made of 4 major sections, but these parts are not well defined or separated in the documents. I've spent some time with them and broke up the text into sections and subsections in the PDF file. The first section examines FM nature. The second section speaks of goals already accomplished. The third section specifies the rules and methods which will help them achieve their goals. And the fourth section lists things yet to be accomplished.
What's the logic behind the structure?
The first section tells about the weaknesses the Altmer can exploit in order to achieve their goals. The second section lists what they have already managed to achieve by exploiting the weaknesses. The third section tells about the methods so they can achieve the goals which are in the fourth section.
Can you show me an example?
Yes, Jamie, scroll to the second point of the first section. It's from the first protocol. Good. The FM, alone or in masses, are driven by extremely shallow passions. They join guilds and societies out of curiosity or in hope that they might worm their way into social distinction. It's them and the careerists and climbers in general who are less serious, and we give them what they want, for their servitude in the accomplishing of our plans is crucial, until our own brothers can occupy major roles in their governments.
Man, this is some serious conspiracy.
Wait until you listen to the second section, which speaks about what they have already achieved. Jamie, scroll down to the third point of the second section. Yes, that's it. I copied this part from the fifth protocol. Despite a temporary reversal in fortunes, the many enemies we have created for the Empire overwhelmed the Imperial Legion. Therefore, at the end of our strife, the White Gold Concordat was put in effect, prohibiting the worship of Talos, and by enforcing this law, we managed to deconstruct the identity and character of a once unified and strong empire.
So their plan is to divide the empire.
Yes, they divide and rule. This is discussed in more detail in the third section, which tells about the methods they use. Jamie, go to the second point of the third section. Okay, it's from the 13th protocol. Since the beginning of time, the majority always took words for facts. Introducing new ideas and presenting them as world-changing ideologies always lead to some level of discord. And we use them as disruptive instruments to further divert and divide.
There's so many things in these sentences that I can't even...
Wait, there is more. The third section continues with the control of magic. All right, Jamie, stay in this section and scroll to the fourth point. These are from the 14th protocol. We must, above all else, seek control of magic, as the Psijic advisors long ago presented to the Aldmeri Council. With illusion magic, we can control the minds of the masses. We can bend their will to fit our needs and goals, and with it prepare Tamriel for our next move. With destruction magic, we can commit unspeakable crimes against those who dare to oppose us. We can bring destruction upon them, which is unparalleled in history, and bend their knees with the furious power of the elements. With alteration magic, we can twist reality to fit our needs, and thus bringing a complete fulfillment to our plan is more probable with every passing day. And to achieve this, we must set up an organization which oversees and regulates all magic users. An organization which is, from the perspective of the outsiders, devoted to safety, research, and progress, but in the harsh reality serves as an agency which hinders the use of magic. And it continues in the fourth section with the things they haven't achieved yet. Scroll to the fourth section, it's the fifth point. Right there, this is from the 15th protocol. For the betrayal of our brothers, the Psijic order was cast out, and with the failure of Manimacro to secure a strong position for the Fellowship of Anchorites, only one agency remained active and loyal to our cause. The Mages Guild, and they shall enjoy our lavish support. For the time will come when the Empire completely collapses, and with it, all regulatory power will fall into our hands.
Wait, so all the major magical guilds and orders worked for the Altmer?
They were created by the Altmer, but 2 of them failed, with only 1 remaining. You should check them out. A truly interesting coincidence.
And they want to completely control magic after the Empire collapsed, right?
Yes.
Okay, but what could cause the complete collapse of the Empire?
The Altmer.
I know, but how?
By inciting hostilities among the rulers of the lands allied with the Imperials. The best example is the Stormcloak Rebellion in Skyrim. If we scroll back to the second section, under the 6th point from the 7th protocol, there is a method which they use to weaken the Empire. Technically, it's turning the smaller factions against each other in order to start a civil war. In Skyrim, we had a rather easy time planting the seeds of the later erupting civil war. With the Forsworn hiding in the woods, the Imperial legions stationed in Solitude, the Stormcloaks already preparing for war in Windhelm, and Whiterunhold claiming neutrality, all we needed was a little spark in order for things to be set in motion. And we are interested in a prolonged war, which we managed to sustain by both supporting and undermining the war efforts of the participants.
Man, that's straight up evil.
I know, but there is more in the 9th point in this section. It's from the 8th protocol. The White Gold Concordat also allowed us to garrison Imperial cities and build embassies on lands previously restricted to Imperial use. And now in almost every administrative capital and commercial center, there are at least 2 agents overseeing operations. Soon, the highest level of their governing body will be instructed by us or our agents.
So eventually they will be the ones who create the laws and control the Empire.
Yes. I usually refer to these as Altmer-occupied governments, like the one in Elsewhere.
Okay, but you said that they want the Empire to collapse. Why would they...
They are not going to work for the good of the Imperials. Have you seen how the Imperial city looks like, by the way?
No.
I have heard that some parts of the city are unrecognizable.
You mean that they destroy the Empire from its core?
They undermine it.
But what's going on with the Imperials? Why don't they do something about it?
Because the Empire is 109% orcified.